A lot of people think you bring stuff to the dry cleaner, everything's dry cleaned.
Right.
We follow the labels on the clothes. So certain things like suits and dresses and silks go into a dry cleaning process. Traditionally, it used this fairly harsh chemical called perc. We upgraded to, eco-friendly stuff a few years ago. And it goes into a cleansing bath. It's kind of like a big washing machine and dryer together, because it gets cleaned and dried in the same machine, but it doesn't use water. So things like wools and such that can't be in waters get cleaned in this process. But a lot of the things that people wear today, are indeed washed, even if you're still pressing it, or, we have form finishers and other tools that finish the clothes.
I just want to clarify one thing. When people bring anything into our shop, no matter what it is, if it's blue jeans or Dockers, they want it dry cleaned. It's not until somebody says, I want my jeans starched and washed and starched, because they want them really stiff. So we don't wash anything except for men's shirts, women's blouses that are buttoned down. Yeah. No, we don't wash polos. We dry clean everything. And the reason people bring it in to be dry clean versus wash, because they can do that at home, is that they feel, and I feel also, that you will, your dyes, things start to fade. And especially gals who are spending $150 on their dark blue jeans. So you're going to keep that. And so they do. I learned that very early on, because we were reading labels, maybe trying to cut that wholesale dry cleaning bill down. But I learned very early on, people are bringing it in. They want them, unless they tell you, they are assuming, and they want them dry cleaned. So we're really big on that. So if we're going to do something other than that, I'll let the customer know as well. You've got mud on these Dockers. We need to wash them to get them clean. Oh, that's okay.
So your plant in your first store, I'm just make sure I understand this correctly. So your plant in your first store was a laundry service, but you had pressing machines. Is that, am I using the right terminology?
Yeah. Okay. So there are these machines for shirts that press the front and back simultaneously. It's like these big clamshell irons, and it pulls the sleeves out and blows hot air through it to get rid of all the wrinkles. And then there are big hothead presses that, you can manually press things on. And so it's probably, when we wash things, they probably don't get washed incredibly differently from at your laundromat. The big differentiator is we do a lot of pressing.
Sure. Yeah. More of the finishing process. Is that a good way of saying it?
Yeah. Like shirts generally don't get dried. They go onto these machines wet, and they get dried as part of the pressing process, right?
And that's how you get that nice finished pressed look.
Yeah, that's the thing. Same with, if you were to wash pants, they go on to these pants toppers and presses, and you're kind of pressing and tensioning the fabrics so that it gets laid out properly at the same time, versus like I wash it, then I dry it, then I go press it. Because once it's gotten dry, it's really hard to get all those tiny little wrinkles out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where we learn doing it through the process of it stays wet.
Yeah.
Right.
That is shirts. Dry cleaning, you just want to make sure you pull it just like we do at home. Make sure you take it out right away and hang it up somehow, whether you're draping it over or hanging it up. And if you've ever, that's why it takes so much more labor to press a shirt than it does dry cleaning, because your dry cleaners, as Rich was saying earlier, they work several hours a day. I mean, they go through, they press so much faster. I don't know if it's the fabric or the nature of the fabric or what it is, but yeah, when it comes to cotton shirts, it's a much more difficult garment.
Yeah, and it hits several machines. So when it comes out, we say it stays wet, but then it goes to this machine called the cuff and collar machine. And so it basically is a hard press on the collar and on the cuffs. Then it goes on the shirt machine that does the rest of it. So not only is there the labor of it, but it hits several machines
Yeah.
in the
Several
process.
processes.
Yeah, yeah. So to kind of get that, like you say, that crisp shirt that looks pretty good.